Hi guys, just Lisa back again. As you can see, I've got a bit of a variety of bits and pieces to show you today. I've got my knitting, I've got stitch marker that I made, and some tie-dye goodies. I went a little bit wild with the tie-dye, but I'll show you what I've made bit by bit. So, first thing in front of me is, I've got this lovely sock yarn that I got at Woolfest. What I'm doing is, I'm part of the Winwick Mum sock along. So I've joined that. It's a really simple pattern. I've only ever made one pair of socks before, and they had a square heel and they didn't fit properly. So this one's turning out so much better already. I'm loving the self-striping yarn. You can see it's going like blue, pink, purple. It's lovely yarn. I think it's King Cole yarn. It is proper sock yarn. It was a bit more expensive because it's a 100-gram ball, but it's lovely and soft. So yeah, I'm doing that at the minute, and as you can see, I'm knitting them on long circulars. The cork is just to keep the stitches on the needles, because I don't have point protector, and I find that works much better anyway. Over here, I've got my tie-dye goodies, which I'll show you. I do dye yarn, as you've seen before, so I thought, well, why not have a go at some clothes and what have you, because I've got the crochet dyes that do cotton and what have you, so I thought I'd have a go. I saw some shoes on Pinterest, and I thought I have to have a go at them. So they're not perfect by any means. I have got spots around there, but I don't think they're bad for a first attempt. And I've now worked out that instead of having to do it with dye, you can actually do it with Sharpie pens. So I'll be doing a pair and I'll post them shortly. But you see, there is marks where some of the dye's gone round. Basically, because what you have to do is once you've dyed them, you bag them up. I did it in a bin bag, and you just leave it overnight. It says 6 hours, but they recommend 24 really. So I just left it for a day before you rinse it. So you do end up with little bits of the dye where it shouldn't be. But what I am quite chuffed with is I've got no dye on the plastic shrimp on the sole because I covered it in Vaseline. So that stops the dye from taking to it, and it's worked quite well. What else I've made tie-dye wise? I had some little baby grows that I meant to embroider ages ago, but instead I've decided to tie-dye them. So I quite like this. I don't have a child to put in one, but I'm going to put them on Etsy, so I'm quite liking this. You can see the colours do mix together quite a lot, but that's fine. Everybody's looks like that. That's what it's supposed to look like. But I just love the colours. I've just stuck with pink dye, blue and yellow, but obviously you get purple and green when they're mixed together. So I think they've come out alright. And I did a project bag as well. It's just going on my Etsy shop as well when I get around to it. I'm really bad at making things at the minute and not listing them. So there's my project bag, just the pink at the bottom, blue at the top. You can see it's gone to purple. It's a bit different on the back. I tried to do circles on this one, where I'd put the elastic band around it. It hasn't come out brilliantly, but practice makes perfect and all that. So I'd love to know what you think of them, because my first attempts. Other projects I've got on the go. I think I showed you last time, a hitchhiker scarf. This one has got the jagged edge, it's kind of got teeth along it, and a straight edge on the other one. Just move the stitch marker. And I've been doing quite a lot on this at the minute. I haven't been knitting very much, I haven't been crocheting, sorry, very much. Been doing an awful lot of knitting. And again, I'm doing this one on I think it's an 80cm circular. I think it's a 4mm, I think. Just with some sock yarn I got at Yarndale last year, which I loved but didn't really know what to do with. So that's quite good. I've got quite a long way to go with it, and I'm not a very fast knitter, so it's taken me a while, but I really like it, and I really like the patterns in the yarn. Lovely colours. And the last thing, I'll just pop it on here to show you. What I've made myself is a stitch counter, if I can get it to go flat. There we go. at the minute I'm using my only stitch marker for this hitchhiker scarf, and I needed one for my socks. So I looked on Pinterest again and came up with a tutorial of how to make these. So it's basically a hoop, as you can see. I think it says love, I can't read it, it's so love, hope, life or something like that on there. It's so small I can't read it. But basically this stitch marker is just 9 beads on each side. So I've got one side that represents like the beginning of, say, a 2-digit. So like 10, 20, 30, 40, and this one's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I've got different beads. So I've got, you can see I've got 2 different ones in between, just so I'm marking number 1 and number 5, so it's a bit easier to look at. Basically, at the minute, I'm on 22 stitches, so I've got 2 on that side, 2 on that side. But what you do is, they just pull up and down on the thread. So if you still want to do 32, you just pull one up. The only thing is, I used beading thread, which I think is just not quite right for this project. So I've had to improvise and add this little clasp, which I'm looping around the threads just to keep the beads in place so I don't lose count. But I think I might make some more. I just need to find a different way of, a different thing to thread them on. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think of all my projects at the minute. Another thing is I want to start doing tips and tricks or Q&A videos. So if anybody's got any questions about crochet, knitting, I'd love to answer them. Also, as well, I'm not an expert, but I do spin, sorry, and I do dye yarn. So if you've got any questions about that as well, I'll do my best to help. But be sure to follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and if you subscribe to the channel, I'll be adding new videos shortly. Thanks, bye.